How much does the 6-drop cost? That seems okay. One thing that I thought was kind of interesting is the fact there's only 2 Blightbushes in this deck. Or 3 Blightbushes in this deck. Always seemed like one of the more powerful cards. I thought it was kind of neat that, Ace, what decks have you been playing though? Because Ace, you don't play the Ruby aggressive decks, right? Like, I could see a world where like the Succubus plus Emperor's Lackey is just like insane against the Ruby aggressive decks, right? Like Redlings and Mono Ruby. Like, you play mostly control and mid-range decks, and Succubus is probably not great against those. You could likely just board it out in the matches where it's not good. But like, there's a lot of aggressive decks in the format, right? You are on Redlings. Okay, interesting. Hand's a little bit slow because it had back-to-back slow shards as the opener. So these are resources that when I play them, I get to pick between the 2 different thresholds that are in my deck that it can make, but they don't make a resource the turn I play them. So even though I have 2 permanent resources now, I don't get to play a 2-drop this turn, which is probably going to be a little bit slow against my opponent's turn 1, turn 2 play on the start. Yeah, what's going on, Port? Getting beat down pretty quickly here. If we'd have had a play this turn, we'd have been pretty reasonable. Probably just going to be too slow now. Maybe I shouldn't have kept this hand in this matchup. That feels really bad. Just missed our 3rd resource drop. So Lord Blightbark here is a 2/2 for 2 that says our Deathcry's trigger on enter the battlefield as well. So if we get to ready with this, we'll like play this Blightbush and it'll make a bunch of Blight Blossoms right when it comes into play too. So and go kind of wide. I definitely think it might have been reasonable to just like mulligan this hand though. We are definitely super dead to Elasgar's Vengeance. Pretty dead to a Cremate too. Oof. Alright, so what are we doing here? Cheap Shot seems excellent. Withering Gaze is actually probably pretty good in this matchup, right? Because like you can tag Lasgars out of their hands and they have a lot of things to draw cards. Vampire Princess seems to be some Paw of Yazukan seems slow. Offentio. Is there supposed to be Offentio in this deck, or do I have Icecon's deck list again? There's not supposed to be Offentio in here, so I messed up the deck list by a card. What am I off by? No, the mill decks are not viable. Oh, Noxious Glory seems great. Yeah, I agree. Noxious Glory seems wonderful. Is Ground Creeper too slow? That's probably like a piece of top end I want to keep in my deck, right? Is Cheap Shot not good enough? Maybe Cheap Shot's not good enough because a lot of their cards are pretty, like killing one of them isn't great. Oh, you know what? Maybe you wanna bar? Maybe he's on one more resource than I was. That could be it. I think I have all of the Drokkatar is slow. You think Culmination's too slow? I mean, they fill their hand up, right? Like they keep a lot of cards in their hand. I'll cut the Woken. I think Culmination's probably fine. I feel like I'll pick one of those. Both of them together are too slow. Okay, I would buy that for $1. And like our troops are probably big enough in this matchup on their own. Seems fine. Yep. Yeah, I agree with that assessment. pretty good. We get to curve Blightbush into Rune here, hopefully. Yeah, I think I'm going to double check his list here. I have a Fentio in my deck that's not supposed to be there, so... He has 12, 19... 24. Yeah, he has 24 resources in his deck. Looks like there's a Necropolis coin I'm missing. Yeah, and like Culmination of Blood can clean up Flickering Gobbler, right? We will add that extra resource back in. It was not omitted intentionally on my part. You want a different show? Let's go ahead and put this out for our second blood threshold. And we can play Rune or Hierophant. I don't know, Burgle. Like I said, I'm just gonna play their deck list card for card. Just gonna play what Isakon played. You want that? You want that one? I think I'm just gonna go ahead and hit this. Make my Rune Hierophant larger here. So my champion power allows me to sacrifice a troop to gain 3 life and draw a card. And when the Blightbush dies, it makes 2 1/1s. And when troops come into play to my control, my Rune Hierophant gets larger. So my opponent played a Shackling Strands on here, which means it's going to exhaust every single turn now. That being said, we could still, like, grow it up a little bit with, like, these Lackeys and these Blightbush, and then I can sack it to something like Noxious Glory to, like, get rid of my opponent's board. Also, if we're, like, lucky enough to hit a couple of resources here, I'm actually just going to play this Emperor's Lackey out. Oh, and Emperor's Lackey can sack this on demand now, right? It's kind of sweet. So, sacrifice this to try and hit a resource. We miss. No attacks here, because this is going to exhaust. I sacked that Lackey aggressively because I wanted to try and hit a resource there, because this draws a card when it dies. So I don't think this is going to work out how my opponent wants. This is probably going to double cremate my thing. So for reference, when you revert something, you pull all of the damage off of it. So like when I sacrifice this to revert my guy, he's going to turn back into a 4/4. It's like something that's good to know if you're going to be playing with copies of Emperor's Lackey. My opponent said that's cool. Yep. So revert changes something back to its base state, which includes removing all the damage from it. I don't think I want to change anything. 4 Withering Gaze might be a little heavy-handed, but like they likely have like Lasgars and Linopause Sights and stuff like that. We saw a Linopause Sight in their deck, so... Yeah, we got Ice. So Ice has a mechanic called Fate Weave on it. So this is a resource that's going to guarantee we hit our 3rd charge drop this game, which is excellent. We really want to do that. So when we play this, it's a slow shard, so it doesn't make a resource the turn we play it, but we get to Fate Weave, which lets us choose between a resource or a non-resource, and then stack that type of card on top of our deck. So assuming we don't get Warp Steel Shards for into mill a card, we will be pretty happy with this. We have like Vampire Princess and the demon as well, so I'm not too worried about Flickering Gobbler, I don't think. Got some more. Yeah, Burgle, that's just like good deck building. We've been doing that for a while. It's like, alright. Sweet to curve. Lord Blightbark here, right into a Deathcry troop. Hopefully we can hit our 4th resource on curve here. If they kill our Lord Blightbark, we'll probably Withering Gaze them and then play second Blightbark next turn, like Withering Gaze to spot check to make sure this is gonna live. This is Yazukan's Bloodwild Deathcry deck that they top-8'd the Bash with this past weekend. Double gaze, huh. So, part of me wants to gaze here because they could have drawn a prophesized action with this Lanupause site, but another part of me just wants to like jam this Rune or Hierophant and like start getting value out of it. I think resource efficiency is going to win out for me here. But there's definitely merit to just, like, trying to double gaze this turn, I think. So, my Rune or Hierophant made 2 troops when it came into play because Lord Blightbark triggered its death cries. Yeah, right, Klutz. For those that are wondering why Andrew's comment is a troll, Blightbark is unique. I want to make sure you don't make that mistake. There's the Flickering Gobbler. Alright, we have a Vampire Princess. So hopefully next turn we can hit a resource. Ooh, Checkling Strands. Okay. We're going to be sacrificing this to our champion power most likely here. Probably do some Withering Gazes to hopefully ensure that this princess is going to live. Then we could trade this with their Flickering Gobbler. Herofall works too. Alright, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and eat my Rune here. Sweet. Do I want another resource here? Yeah, I think I do, right? Because, like, I'm going to Herofall this turn, which means next turn I can Withering Gaze plus Commander P.R.O.M.P.T, which we have a pretty big board here. So, like, Commander P.R.O.M.P. gives all of our exhausted troops +2 power. I really like the addition of Commander P.R.O.M.P. in Yazukan's list. It's kind of like Woken Drokkatar's 3 and 4, right? That's like you can play on curve, kind of in these when your deck has these aggressive curves like this. Flickering Gobbler. So this card, my opponent has to play an action every turn or it dies. Hopefully they don't have a protection spell here. I'm gonna feel a little bit bad if they do, because like I have these they do. I have these Withering Gazes I could have used to go after this. The Commander P.R.O.M.P.'s gonna close this game pretty quickly though. I guess I could also just be a little bit conservative here and, like, go gaze into Vampire Princess and, like, take their actions away. That's probably correct. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that, actually. Well, let's take a look here and see. Depending on what they have, it might be right to Commander P.R.O.M.P.T. Remate. Alright, sweet. So I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take their Shackling Strands. And then they don't actually have... They don't actually have a way to kill our Vampire Princess. Which is sweet. Then Commander P.R.O.M.P. next turn probably get some. Which one do you want, Deca? You want this one? You want that? Alright, good games, opponent. Alright, let's put that extra resource in our deck here. Correct, yeah, so they have to... Sventio is supposed to be a coin. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out here this morning. I still don't have a set schedule yet. I need to get this... to get that worked out and posted. Probably have the set schedule posted later this evening. I intended to work on it over the weekend, figuring out what I was going to be able to play when. But, you know, 24-hour streams and all that jazz. Yeah, exactly, Reg. So revert basically what you want to think is, it basically takes the card and puts it back into, like, its base state. You don't want this one either? Is Hex better than Eternal? It depends on what you're looking for in a game. If you're looking to play a game competitively, Hex is infinitely better than Eternal. A lot of Eternal's gameplay is designed for, like, with speed in mind and, like, quick gameplay as opposed to quality gameplay. Like, it's a game design that you can play on a cell phone efficiently. Whereas, like, Hex has a lot of their card designs. Their ladder is best of 3, so it's lower variance. It gives you chances to, like, make back up of losses you'd otherwise have. Hex has regular cash tournaments that you can play in. Every single weekend, Hex has 2 $1,000 cash tournaments that you can play in clients. Just, like, pay your entry fee and join up. There's no jumping through hoops for, like... There's no jumping through hoops for, what's the word I'm searching for? There's no jumping through hoops to, like, qualify and stuff for them like that. There isn't a unit limit in play that you can have in play, which I enjoy. I'm gonna play this out. There's a buy, sell, trade secondary market, so even as someone like me who mostly, like, doesn't touch the finance part, what the buy, sell, trade secondary market means to me is that I can just buy a deck outright instead of having to grind a bunch of money, spend a bunch of time grinding for a deck. The opponent's got Alchemite in their deck, so Yassi likes to play these weird Uzu decks that are like Diamond Sapphire based control decks. So this card, it's a 3/1. Whenever it attacks, they draw a card, and they can discard a card to revert this and put it back in their hand. So they can attack with this into our board, I guess, but they're gonna have to discard it because they basically just, like, get to loot with it. It's like a 3-mana awkward loot. I'm gonna block with both of these, so that way if they have, like, a piece of removal, they can't just, like, spend their removal. They're gonna need to return this to their hand. Oh, they just let it trade. Okay, that's fair, I guess. Deal. Mono Ruby Uzu. That was a deck for, like, a hot second. I'd, like, trigger Matriarch sooner. Oh, we're still doing Darkheart stuff. Okay. Interesting. Alright, how about if we Withering Gaze you and see what's going on over here? Dream Call, Transmogrifade, Weave into nothing. Alright, I'm gonna take your Transmogrifade away. Then I'm gonna Herofall your Darkhearts. So, what Copycat does, in addition to copying the troop that it copies, it reverts it back to its base state. So when my opponent put the Copycat into play, targeting my Rune Hierophant, it put my Rune Hierophant back to its base form here, which is just a 2-2. So they got a 5-5, and I just got a 2-2 out of the deal. They have a Weave into nothing that we know about. I'm gonna lean on Blightbush here, because I think they might Weave this. My opponent's playing Dream Call because I assume they don't like drawing good cards. Go ahead and put this Promiscuous Succubus into play. I'm going to attack them for 3 here because I'm not blocking with this Dorko. Can jump with this turn and then put the trigger onto my Rune Hierophant. This thing, the demon this makes is a 6-cost 6/6. Woolly Moa, sure. So we know their hand right now is Dream Call plus 1 card we don't know. And it's likely a non-resource. Hey, Bob and G's for 8 months. Twitch is going to make me post this when you have Succubus on board. Sometimes life is cruel. Alright, so as long as they don't have a Transmogrifade, we're actually at a pretty decent spot here. I wouldn't mind hitting a resource so that way we could, well, that's pretty good. You weren't too attached to your hand, were you, opponent? Silver Talent Adjudicator, sure. Play this Emperor's Lackey out. I think I'm just going to pass the turn here. There's no reason to attack because they're just going to have to sacrifice this to their Dark Heart anyways. And, like, they had a pretty good turn, right? Like, they had a double Copycat 4, and I feel like we're at a pretty good spot here. I don't think they can attack. Maybe they attack with just this? Yeah, I think I'm actually going to sack this here so I can get a 6/6. Oh, can't see my life total. Look at Succubus out. Getting hyped for my 1-year sub day next month. Hats with the 11-month resubscription. Thank you very much for the continued support. I really appreciate it. Welcome. Welcome back. Block. This is gonna target a Carnal Demon, right? Yeah. Huh. Am I supposed to sack this? I think I am. Yeah, I mean, Succubus was kind of impressive here, right? I'm gonna hold on to this guy so we can sacrifice it next turn. We're only one hit off of my champion power again here. Oh, you know what? I guess sacking my thing was wrong, right? Because they would have just had to sacrifice. Yeah, I didn't think about it dying to their Dark Heart. Yeah, that was wrong. I should have just passed the turn. Yeah, I didn't make that connection until I just saw what happened. Take a look at what they got in their hand here. Transmogrifage, sure. Still a flyer, deal. Nice cards you can't play over there, by the way. Destroy that. Because they don't get guys, because they don't have the thresholds for it. Deck with all of these. They're obligated to block and trade here. Paw is a good draw for sure. These trade, they go to 1. If they had a diamond, they get another turn. So Withering Gaze seems pretty good. Herofall seems fine. Gemborn Prowler seems fine. Woken Drokkatar is probably a little clunky. I don't think I need that. Vampire Princess seems fine. Is Chompknight good? Chompknight's pretty good against Dark Heart, right? Especially, it's pretty good against, like, multiple Dark Hearts, too. Is Commander P.R.O.M.P.T not good enough? They're kind of grinding us down. Maybe Commander P.R.O.M.P.T's a little bit loose for the same reason Woken Drokkatar is not exciting. I don't hate this. I don't know that Succubus is strictly bad against the transmog deck, Holidays. Like, we have a lot of, like, things they need to transmog, right? Like, we have Blightbark they need to transmog. Like, Lackey can dance around transmog a little bit. Oh, extra paw? Yeah, I like that. Cut a bush? Sure. I hate this. I don't think I want a Nature's Range just for the Dark Hearts. Oh, these Lackeys are pretty terrible, right? I guess they're less bad. Now they have a bunch of Dark Hearts. Lackey seems fine. Lackey seems fine against a pile of Dark Hearts. Seems fine. Not super exciting, but fine. We can use this to Fate Weave a non-resource to the top of our deck, find a little bit more action. I don't even know if Lackey's strictly bad in this deck when they're running Glory and Clash Ace. Like, we have 4 Emperor's Lackeys, and like, the fact that it is upside his installation against, Dark Heart seems very reasonable. Rotting Chompknight. He's gonna play the Lord Blightbark out. That's fine. You know what? I'm probably supposed to have played this first. In case they have, like, Totem Trap. When they weave into nothing, you're naive, Lackey. God bless, opponent. What's wrong with this hand? This hand's fine. I've got threat into, like, powerful top end card. think this sounds like more than reasonable. Alchemite, sure. I'm gonna play this out for a 1/1 and sack it to draw a card. Chris. I'm gonna leave these back so they can't attack in with this. I mean, like, our deck's not that aggressive. Like, we're kind of a mid-range deck. I think most of our draws aren't going to be particularly aggressive, right? That's kind of a tilt. Silver Talon Adjudicator drawing cards does not feel good. Deciding if they want to trade or discard. Card, sure. Groundskeeper's a little bit worse, so we don't have a Deathcry thing in play right now. Can't sacrifice that many things this turn. Alright, let's just play this out. Shame I can't get that many things in the bin. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and... No, I can't. I can't get them all into the bin. Attack with both. Attacking with both doesn't get us to this no matter how we slice it. It's really unfortunate they didn't trade that Alchemite last turn. Oh, they traded the Alchemite. The Culmination of Blood would have cost. I guess it still would have cost 6, right? You want this? You want water? You want this? Okay, Dad's gotta go fill up the water. I'll be right back. Gotta get Declan something to drink. Oh, that was a pretty big punt. Probably should have sacked that to the Emperor's Lackey. Yep. Sure. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Vampire Princess is decent. Let's do this. Play Lord Blightbark out. Lead on this. I think they're likely to counter it if they have a counter. Play Vampire Princess. I think I'm just passing the turn here. Yeah, we can't really have profitable attacks into a 3/6. Another Alchemite, sure. Oh, I should have sacked this to here. Countercheck. Alright. At least we're up a game here. Made a couple of small mistakes this game. Our lack of Deathcry troops for Blightbark and Groundscreeper are kind of annoying. Probably losing this game. Think I'm okay trading here. Returning the one that this one blocked. I assume they're going to trade here. Sure. I have a couple dark cards here. Couple 2-3, yep. Alright, well, Rotting Chompknight's a good last card to have. The real shame they had 3 of them. Because otherwise this would have killed them all. That one. And then they're going to lose their entire board, these two here. They don't have a transmog, they're going to lose another dark heart to this. So we're actually kind of in an okay spot here. They have Transmography, sure. We're going to 13 here on this attack. That's... Alright, I'm gonna concede now because I didn't play my resource and we gave them an extra 2 cards. Think I want to change anything here. I think I'm pretty happy with how we boarded. We'll play a little bit tighter this game. This hand's a little bit heavy on non-resources, but like Withering Gaze into Vampire Princess against like a pseudo-controlling deck is like one of the better starts you could ask for, right? And we're guaranteed to draw non-resource next turn since we have an ice, so I think that's fine. Culmination of Blood's an okay card here. We really don't have a good way to fill the bin up right now. This, hopefully clear the path for Vampire Princess. Double Confounding Ire. Huh. Into Lapidary. Well, I guess we'll take the Transmography here and, like, hope to get a double spell turn where we get to punch something through. Now we're just going to be playing the waiting game since their hand is double Ire. I'm gonna do this and I'm just gonna pass the turn for now. They only had 2 resources in their hand. Tilt. It's a good draw. That's pretty good. Alright, Lord Blightbark, go. Did they Fate Weave a non-resource to the top of their deck? Holy greed, Batman. Is that what just happened? They played a Diamond Dice last turn, right? Like, they were really lucky to hit a Diamond Dice because it was going to guarantee them 2 shard drops. And then they put a non-resource on top of their deck? I guess I'll lead on the Rune here because I'd prefer the Vampire Princess resolve. And like next turn I get to go Gaze plus Culmination potentially. Yeah, like they missed, it's their fault they missed their 4th resource drop. Like now they Fate Weaved one, sure. But like I have a Vampire Princess in play. And like, unless they drew exactly, I guess I could have Runebind too. What's going on, Nola Gold? Nola Gold is Jody Keefe for any of the Magic players in the audience. There's never any justice in the world. What do you got over there? Sure. Keep the number of cards in my hand down. It's a shame this cost 1 too many, or wouldn't have been able to been able to Culmination then there. Did you draw another Confounding Ire? Like from another Transmogrifate or something here, maybe? Trying to figure out which one to tag. God, the top of their deck has been hot. Go ahead and pass here. They attack with this. I'm gonna chump with this. We hit any shard, we can hit our champion power and get a 6/6 next turn. We're a Naive Lackey. Let's get a 6/6 next turn as well. Let's get 2 6/6s next turn, actually. It's definitely always better to be lucky. You're not wrong. You are not incorrect. Exactly 3 troopers in there. Get them on out of there and scrounge this duder up. Scrounge, 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 scrounge-a-roo. Yeah, the gameplay in Hex is pretty fantastic. I'm hoping that once the PS4 moves forward, that they start doing some more advertising overall, especially once I think they want to port some of the new player features that they brought to the PS4 platform over to the general client, and then I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more advertising after that. Alright, attack for what is lethal on board. I mean, technically it's a CCG. All trading card games are CCGs. Just so we can be technically correct. All trading card games are collectible card games. Not all collectible card games are trading card games. I don't see any reason why porting to the PS4 would bring 2v2 around. I don't. Those two things do not seem related in the slightest. Now, improved new player experience, it's definitely something they want before they come to a newer, bigger platform. A newer additional platform. So, like, expecting a new player experience makes sense with the PS4. In fact, the article that they posted that they took down because Sony asked them to, some timing thing, and teased a new player experience. I don't. From a software development standpoint, especially when you're writing everything in Unity anyways, there's no difference between playing on one platform, like developing something for one platform versus another. It sounds very good, right? Like we get to curve Gaze into Bush into Rune here. I think I want to hold that for after I have a Rune in play to make it a little bit larger. Sweet. So, little awkward that they get to play Righteous Outlaw on the play, but we also have a Blightbush and an Emperor's Lackey, so we're okay with that. 2v2 is on their roadmap for eventually, but, like, in terms of, like, programming complexity and, like, number of hurdles that likely need to be overcome for, like, 2v2 to be a thing, I would definitely assume that 2v2 is one of the more complex things on the roadmap that needs to happen. As far as complexity. So they drew an elf, because that made a thing for them. Adak. I just drew... Wait. What? I'm really confused. Why didn't they champ power? Wouldn't you just want to champ power this? They want to champ power the other thing next turn, I guess? Bring her out here past the turn. Oh, it's double green. Thank you. Thank you. I'm dumb. You are correct. That is why it didn't happen. Let's go ahead and sack this to here. I think I'm gonna eat this and then trade here. Seems fine. Conserve my life total a little bit. So now, so they're short on resources. I think I'm gonna do this. Life is swell, you know? Hex is great, Magic's medium. I'm gonna go ahead and sack this. And put it on here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and sack this to gain some life, draw 2 cards, and make a 6/6. Seems decent. This Succubus card is growing on me. I'm glad I tried this card for card and didn't just assume that I was smart and thin and that Succubus was bad. Alright, so here's a Surging Wildfire getting jammed down our throat. You know what? I probably should have... This actually isn't even that scary, right? Like... Right, like I'm literally just taking 5. Doesn't really matter. Like, really, I think the fact that you're playing 4 copies of Emperor's Lackey really makes... They're not even playing 4 Surging Wildfires? That's weird. Feels like a card you, like, always want 4 of, right? Get in with the Stork in the air, try and close the game out here. And like next turn we get to play Promiscuous Succubus and like make another 6/6. Like seems pretty excellent. Yeah, no joke. Like Lackey might really be the difference. That's an interesting one to champ power. So like now, I guess if I want to eat this, I have to do this. Yeah, okay. So now I can't do tricks with this next turn, but that's probably fine. Like getting this off the board is pretty important. Reach there, Pyre Strike. Alright, you're dead next turn. I mean, we're not playing Underworld Crusader. I don't know. Like, Underworld Crusader's like a more grindy card, and this format's like really aggressive, right? So like, I feel like having more aggression seems really good. I could be wrong. Well, I'd be willing to accept that might not be true. Cheap Shot might be worth it. They have Righteous Outlaw. Just put a couple of those. Pick one of these other cards. Awesome, King Fed. Congrats. Glad you're enjoying yourself. Made the version with Crusader and it was poop. I mean, you say it's been good, Ace, but like none of us have been playing it and it hasn't put up any results. So like, I don't know if that's strictly correct. Like obviously, did Isakon do something other than just this event with this deck? I feel like someone else did something with this deck list too. It's okay. Blightbark Lives is just like insane, right? Any hand Blightbark Lives is insane. I guess his hand was medium against Crusader. Yeah, but I mean, like, if it was really powerful Holidays, like, we'd be playing it. We would want to play it if it was like genuinely very good. He's up 82 bashes. Okay, that's good to know. I need to look back and see. I just grabbed the one from this past weekend. But like, if he's top 8 2 bashes with it, that's probably not by mistake. Emperor's Lackey, a true skill game I play. I think I just want to play this for blood and sack my thing. Like I could draw a cheap shot here to kill this. Yeah, ice, baby. Little awkward. Jumping here. I feel like I'm just jumping here. I feel like I'm in the market to game 3 with this Blight Blossom. Alright, yeah, non-resource. This. I like, someone mentioned this earlier, but like Promiscuous Succubus with Woken Drokkatar is like pretty huge too, right? Like making a 6 cost like ticks this way down and like you do some really aggressive curves. Like this build is much more aggressive than like the really kind of more mid-rangey build that we've been playing. Well, that's gross. I think we're just taking 13 here. I don't think I want to block this. Oh, you fucking troll card. Alright, let's click submit. Do I want this Gemborn Prowler? Oh, I'm just gonna click submit. No, I don't think crappy Wild Nacatl is gonna be modern playable. That's basically what it is, right? It's just like bad Wild Nacatl. Blightbark. I'm gonna play Blightbark here. I feel like this gives us the most powerful Dutch rocks plus fitting what we draw. If they have like Righteous Outlaw here, I get to cheap shot it before it kills my Blightbark. Or sure. Yeah, see? Just like that. You want this? Where's your bull? Where's your bull? They're gonna attack with this. We could cheap shot this if they block. There's like no reason to block here, right? So smart and thin. I feel smart and thin when stuff like that happens. We can sack this Blightbush here to draw a card, gain some life, get more Blight Blossoms on the table. So if we hit a resource next turn, we get to just jam this Commander P.R.O.M.P.T down their throat. Attack with all these. Take a couple of cheap shots here. They obviously don't have Righteous Outlaws, so like those cards aren't getting that much better. We conscripted a Naive Lackey, which drew us a card. God bless. Ding. Yeah, we played Commander P.R.O.M.P.T for a little while in Riddlings. They should be pretty good here, right? This is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh yeah. No, no blocks. I talk about promptly here. Up in here. Up in here. Bum 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 bam 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 bam. Wha-bam, wham, bam, 23 you, ma'am. Oh. This build seems really sweet. This is why, like, the weekly 1Ks are really awesome. In addition to just being like cash prizes, right? Like you get to play. You get to see decks like this do well more consistently. It's easier to pick them out. Because, like, while we have all the data from the ladder, at a certain point, like, sometimes there's almost too much, like, signal to noise ratio with what's going on in the ladder. And sometimes it can be hard to pick out, like, well, this one deck's doing really well. It's, like, you know, 9-1 or whatever. When you have to, like, sift through actual everything. And, like, having bash results, we can see, like, IceCon do, like, you know, top 8'd 2 bashes with this deck. So, like, hey, this configuration's probably really sweet, and there's likely something here. Let's check it out. You're right, Ghostly Flow? And by that, I mean Data is evil and runes TCGs. And Hex, why do you give us so much data? You're ruining your game. Why do you have to ruin your game, Hex? Why you gotta do it? I gotta do it. The game is ruined. I cannot enjoy it because there's too much information. Do 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 do. OP does have some sweet sleeves. Hey, I've got an animated... Oh, I never even knew you could do that. Look at that. You can grab the top card of your deck here. Can I look at it? Can I see it? No, I can't see it. Wait, is that... There's a number 1 there. Is that... I wonder if that shows me... We're gonna have to try this after I've drawn my hand. Okay, it doesn't mean anything. There aren't any 1-drops in my hand. This hand's super reasonable. Oh, no. It just always shows a 1. That's good. I was worried there for a second that I was going to be able to, like, tell what was going to be. Alright, Withering Gaze, what do you got? It's probably the Blood Diamond deck. That's a Blood Diamond deck. Probably a Crusader deck. There's been a Blood Diamond. I should have screenshotted their hand. How was the 1K? I went 5-2, lost the last round to miss top 8. I made some mistakes because I was double queuing. TCGs are hard. They're even harder when you're streaming and doing 2 things at once. That's the 4/6 Crusader deck. Sounds right. I mean, by definition, it has to be the worst 4/6 Crusader deck, right? Because it's the only one. If it's the only one, it has to be the worst by default. 2 best words in the English language, default. Let's take this trade here. It's fine. I'll put a non-resource on top of my deck here. Like, I kind of need another blood. Maybe I'm supposed to put a resource on top there, actually. That way I could hit a non-slow shard to go 2-drop, 2-drop next turn. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I could hit a 3-drop this turn, though, right? So, like, I could... Actually, if I hit, like, a Deathcry thing here, I could play a Deathcry thing. Yeah, see, like, this is actually... I am vindicated because I was right. I hit a Deathcry thing here, which means I have a Deathcry thing in play to trigger with my Ground Creeper next turn. So, suck it, Burgle. Hoagland's gut was correct. It's right about more than just wanting a chocolate shake every once in a while. So smart and thin. So smart and thin. We could have hit Lackey. We could have hit Succubus. We could have hit Rune. No, I mean, like, even just, like, thinking about it, like, if I sit down and think about all the things that could happen there, like, this is the highest upside play, right? Just, like, putting a non-resource on top there. I was right because results are what matter the most. Slow shard anyways. Yep, just every time. Not necessarily, Burgle. They have multiple extracts. This deck is like super anti-aggro. This deck probably has a great what's it called matchup. On to my champion power for now. I know what we're doing with it, so might as well. Gonna attack here. Ground Creeper trigger. Oh yeah. Jeepers Creepers. That feels good. We knew that it would not. Drawing cards feels good. We knew that I would not. This deck is great against Lad. Okay, yeah, that's fair. It's just like mono cards that die to Lasgard's Vengeance. Like, all of your troops are good, but like, none of them are good against Lasgard's Vengeance. And see, like, again, just like, hitting these cards on this board with the Lackey, like, Succubus seems cool. Oh, God. Oh, God. Lord Blightbark. Ooh, my promiscuous lady. Trigger. I'm getting a little triggered over here, fam. This is where the Succubus... Oh, baby, she's gonna suck him dry. She's just gonna gobble him right up, ladies and gentlemen. If you've never seen a Succubus gobble like this before, oh, baby. Oh, baby. Sage, if you don't know what the card does, you can do exclamation point promise. There you go. See, just any card name there in chat. And any TCG is tough to get into. I talk about what some of the cards do here in chat, but it's tough to do it for absolutely every single card. Like, as Magic players, we just, like, get so used to knowing what all of the cards do that, like, we get kind of spoiled. Oh, no! You've killed my Succubus! What if I were to put a third Carnal Demon trigger on this one? Sure. You have a rat paw, gang. My body is ready to duel. Oh, baby. So I could get 3 demons now, or I could get 4 demons every single turn. Who's ready for it? Let's get ready to rumble. So when we get to end of turn, the Ground Creeper is going to trigger all of the death cries on this Blight Blossom. And he makes a lot of very angry mamma jammas. Let's make some carnal demons, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, carnal demons. Ooh, carnal demons. Carnal demon. I could sack this now and like have 5. 6 is fine. 6 is plenty. Stop it. 6 is plenty. And we're gonna get 4 more now. It's fine. It's fine, ladies and gentlemen. I promise. The Woken is very inexpensive. You are not wrong. All right, Culmination of Blood. What's your last card? Anyone else down on the Succubus still? I feel like we should have a discussion about who's down on the Succubus and why you're wrong. We were all... I am a big man, and I am willing to admit when I am wrong. And I was very, very wrong about this Succubus card. Let's talk about ways I was wrong. I was wrong about the Succubus card. This is kinda gas. Gasoline. You want bots? And this is why I talked about this in my article on Gathering Magic last week. Not feeling comfortable with the promotion. Yeah, like, this is why I talk about, like, when you're getting a feel for a deck for the first time, you should play the successful deck list card for card. Don't assume that you are smarter and thinner than the person that was successful and built the deck and played the deck. Like, play the cards that they played and try and figure out, did they have something going on here that was sweet? So now, at the end of their turn, I'm going to sacrifice this Succubus and put a 5th Deathcry trigger on here, and then I'm going to sacrifice this one and get 5 more Carnal Demons, and my Carnal Demons are going to gobble up Kodo the Mage here. Am I even playing Furiko when I can play this, right? There's so many Carnal Demons! There's so many Carnal Demons! I was trying to figure out what deck I was going to write about for my next deck drill down article. I've answered that question now. I think I want to just cut these culminations and bring in Herofall. Does Waltz of the Damned seem good? Waltz of the Damned seems hot. I get to take their Crusaders and sacrifice them. Withering Gaze seems like medium minus. I'm gonna bring in... Is it bad? A couple Withering Gaze is probably fine. Spot check for removal. Yeah, I kind of like that. And Culmination Blood's a little slow. I think I'd rather have Woken Drokkatar than Culmination in Blood. It's possible I want, like, this extra paw here. This hand's pretty mediocre. I think we can do better at 5 or 6. This hand is has no cards that we can play in it. Yep, that's a keepable 5. Man, this is why. The one well hand. It's fine, we're up a game. Got this. Yeah, we really haven't, the Heroes group hasn't really been working on mid-range decks because a lot of these decks are pretty mediocre. Alright. Let's play this, play Emperor's Lackey. I mean, like, I could talk about this objectively, right? Because, like, I have access to, like, what happened to the tournament. So he beat Dreaming Fox, he beat Redlings, he beat Dreaming Fox, he beat Dreaming Fox, he beat Dreaming Fox, lost to Redlings, won against a Kaigaleichu deck. Okay, I might accept that, like, this deck just, like, is pooping on Sapphire Diamond control. There was another bash that Yazukan top-8'd, right? I'm gonna look back at these other bashes. Yeah, Yazukan with Takahiro again. Yep. Yeah, wow, it actually looks like the person that played this had exceptionally lucky runs. Well, he top-8'd twice with this Takahiro deck, right? They had exceptionally lucky runs in terms of running. I don't know if this deck is good, bad, or otherwise against the Ruby aggressive decks, but in 14 matches, they only played against the Ruby decks 3 times, and they're 2-1 against them. Oh, right. Blightbark can kill it. Or Champion Power can kill Blightbark. That's annoying. And so, so I got punished for my sequencing mistake here. I was clicking on bash things. I wasn't thinking about my opponent's champion power. And my opponent, killed my Lord Blightbark with their champion power here. And if I would have been paying attention to sequence properly here, I would have played Emperor's Lackey last turn. And then this turn, I would have gotten to go Blightbark into Naive Lackey, draw a card off the Blightbark trigger. Are the Bash top 8 results posted on, because he hasn't won any of the Bashes that he's played. So, like, what did he lose to? What did they lose to in the top 8? What in the single elimination rounds was 2 eggs in my deck, hit both of them right away? Does anyone know? Is this... Where, can anyone link the the top 8s where Yazukan was in the top 8 with this deck and see what they played against. Because he's only 2-1 against Ruby decks in actual matches played in these events so far. This. I think I'm actually just gonna block here. The go-to deck route. Oh, okay, I see it. Okay, sweet. I made that really suit. So Yazukan. Yazukan lost to Mono Ruby in the top 8 of 1 bash. Okay. Okay, so he's now 2-2. 2-2 against them. And then Yazukan lost to Mono Ruby again in the top 8 of the other bash. Alright, so I believe, Burgle, that this deck isn't actually good against the decks that the person who designed the deck thinks they're good against. That's too funny. And it's funny that he was in Yana's chat talking about that. And, like, 5's not a huge sample size, right? Like, there's variance in TCGs, and, like, that sample size could be larger, but, like, that's, like, I love fucking hex data. It is so good that when, like, people make statements like that, you're like, I can go and do this. I could go and confirm whether or not this is good, bad, or other ways. Yeah, and, like, that's a real thing too, right? Like, it might be good against people that are playing RDW on the ladder. It might be. The ladder is almost certainly, on average, worse players than people that are in the top 8s of clashes. Bashes. All I know is, in actual tournament play, this deck is 2-3 against Lasgar's Vengeance decks combined. It's 2-3. This deck top-8'd the bashes on the back of beating Sapphire Diamond control, which I could see. Like, you have a lot of threats and attack from a lot of different angles, and this is going to be a difficult deck for Sapphire Diamond control to play against a lot of the time. It's like, almost any deck I pick up, I have a good win rate with on the ladder. Like that's just like, so that's why, like, again, like, when we talk about matches, like, when I talk about matchups being good, bad, or otherwise, 9 times out of 10, I'm not testing them against people on the ladder. It's me queuing up with Burgle and Bob and Andrew, like, queuing up against other people that have had success in hex tournaments that I know that are good TCG players, and, like, we're playing matches out to see, like, how does this match play out when 2 good TCG players are on each side of the table. Well, this Commander P.R.O.M.P.'s gonna make a lot of demons. And don't get me wrong, like, this deck seems very reasonable. I think it's probably really good against the control decks and the other mid-range decks in the format, but I would probably agree with Burgle's assessment that it seems like it's probably mediocre against the Lasgar's Vengeance decks. Sure, my hand is gone. Sweet. Let's play one more with this. Hopefully we can queue into a Lasgar's Vengeance deck and get a feel for how it goes. Thank you everyone for hanging out here today. I do appreciate it. Remember, if you're new and you're enjoying the stream, please hit that follow button. Doesn't cost you anything, it helps other people find my stuff. If you're enjoying what you see and want to help me produce more of this content, there's a couple different ways you can do that. The first is by subscribing on Twitch or becoming a patron on Patreon. You can also support my content by supporting my sponsors. HexPrimal.com would love to buy and sell Hex TCG cards with you. If you use code Hoagland or Jeff5 at checkout there, you'll save 5% on all of your orders with them. And InkGaming.com can help you customize your gaming experience. They do custom playmats and mouse pads. They'll put your own artwork that you have a license to redistribute on there, or you can choose from their own custom artwork. I've been playing against some different decks today, right? Yeah. Yeah, we're through 3-0 so far, but we played against a lot of tier 2 decks here on the ladder so far today. I'm like, oh, and remember, just because, like, Professor Yada, I'm just glad you like Succubus. I don't feel bad for being on the hype train for that now. With the 17-month resubscription, welcome back, and thanks for the continued support, Tom. I think 7 slow shards is too many. Maybe? I like the 4 ice. So what's this resource base? We've got 7, 8, that's 11 blood, 15 blood, 16, 17, 18. You might need the colors. Is Succubus single blood? I guess Culmination's double blood. Oh, here's Yastian Redlings. Look at that. Coming to give us our due. Huh. I'm gonna play this and play this Naive Lackey. This lets us wait a turn to make a decision with this Wild Ice, because, like, if we draw a resource next turn, we want a Wild Ice for a non-resource. Succubus is double blood. He's on slow legs. Alright, and we hit a non-resource here, so I'm gonna go ahead and put a resource on top of my deck so I can guaranteed hit 4 in 4 turns. Play the second Lackey out and pass here. Not on traditional Redlings. Got it. Okay. JK. This card's probably really good against us, right? Like, we don't have a lot of removal in this deck. We have a lot of chump blockers, but this card, every time it readies, it gets to play the top card of our deck for free. So, like, we're gonna get a lot of value here. The Scrounge Troop here. Scrounge 2? Oh, this gives the everything Scrounge 2. That makes sense. That's a really large motor trick, Traver. And again, just like reasonably aggressive curve here, and we're like super behind the 8-ball, right? How many Zakaz are in your deck? I don't get to know because you could sacrifice it, right? We're pretty dead here. Go on to the next one here. I think Culmination is okay. Withering Gaze is a little slow. Cheap Shot seems fine. Extra Herofall seems good. Quick Submit. But it might be. Who knows? Cheap Shot's like reasonable against Redlings. It's like okay against Redlings anyways. If they have Zakaz, like it's extra good there. After this match, regardless of the result, we're gonna go ahead and pivot and try something else here. Maybe we'll work on Blood Sapphire control. Been meaning to do that. To go first. It seems fine. Which Candlelight deck? Marty, can you link it? I don't think I remember seeing that one in chat. I think I remember you mentioning, but I didn't actually look at a deck list. You're a brat, youngest son. Somebody gave the toddler a weapon. I'm currently being assaulted. Gonna attack with this, but I think I'd rather keep it to keep the Wicked Web spawn back. Beep beep. So making Dreadlings here was a punt. The Dreadlings actually just gained me a life because I have the Vampire Princess. Oh, that should just be a... That should just be a what's it called deck, right? That should like 10 out of 10 just be a the words are escaping me. Locket deck. This is a missed sequence. I should have done the Lackey first and sacked it. Yeah, probably wanted to play the Blightbush there. And the good news is whatever cards they don't play this turn, I get to take away from them. If you're not too attached to your hand, opponent. We're attacking with the Vampire Princess first, because if they have an action we can take, I'd like to take that away before I culmination it away. Flames. Opponent doesn't want to play Hex anymore. Submit a Rune here. Easy redraw there, just a well. It's fine. Not exciting, but fine. I'm okay playing this on one. You want a different show? We're all done with rescue bots? What do you want to watch? Which one you want? You want Magic School Bus? You don't want the bus? You want Oso? You want Robocar Poli? Robocar? Okay, one rescue bot show for another. The Emperor Rabbit is here. When you're desperate for a Dreadling. I think I'm playing the Succubus out next turn, right? Put some flying defense out. And like, next turn, I get to go Runier, make the Runier a 3/3, sack this, put this on here, sack the Runier. And by that, I mean, this is why this deck is terrible against Lasgar's Vengeance. I guess I could have played this. I could have sequenced around Lasgar's Vengeance. Oh, wait, no, I'm dumb. I'm dumb. Almost punted. Almost punted. Oh, no, wait, this is terrible. This doesn't do anything because it just reverts it. Nope, didn't matter. Was going to be the exact same result. Tilt. Tilt. That's how Hex works. The team bad Lasgars. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if there's permafrost in his deck. Holy crap, he put that has to be worse than just playing a well, right? That has to be worse than just playing a well. Joke's on you, my Rune or Hierophant didn't want to block anyways. I want to just bin this now. I probably want to attack first, right? Princess is a good draw. Until Yas plays another. Look at this board. This deck's great against these Ruby decks. It always beats Lasgar's Vengeance. I understand. This deck is excellent against the Lasgar's Vengeance decks. Excellent. Excellent. Quite good. There's no way we can lose this game. We're so far ahead on board. It'd be a darn shame if the opponent were to play a one-sided Wrath that also domed us for 4. Well, so Lasgar's Vengeance deals 4 damage to us and every troop we control. It is fair and it is balanced. If they don't have it here and they don't have removal for the princess, we're actually in like a D+ spot. We are positioned to beat the first Lasgar's Vengeance. You're not wrong. You could. No, yeah, that's true. No whammy, no whammy, no whammy, opponent, please, please no whammy, please no whammy, please no whammy. Do it! God. Peace Tinker, if you're in chat, like, you're constantly defending Lasgar's Vengeance as being weaker, or just being on par with cards like Darkheart. Lasgar's Vengeance is probably the best card in the current format. There's a lot of strong cards in the current format, but I feel like implying that Lasgar's isn't much better than most of the things people are doing in the format is disingenuous, because it is, in fact, much better than most of the things people are doing in the format. What is even going on? What does this card do? This is Fling, right? Wait, what? What just happened? Did they play another one? I I auto-passed because we didn't have any resources up. I missed what happened. I think they played another one. This is why, for instance, the testing on the ladder is bad, because you're not going to play against this deck when you're doing well in a tournament. But that being said, I think that match did kind of highlight the fact that I think thinking this deck has a good matchup against decks that contain the card Lasgar's Vengeance is kind of silly, right? We did in fact get double flung.